Just waiting, ready to go live. Good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Footprints live on the Things Network. We have tonight, we have got Ben and Lou from the Demonologists, and they've come to kind of give us a wee bit more information on this subject that I find absolutely fascinating. How are you doing, guys?
We're all good.
Yeah, good, thanks.
And we've got Lois up in the corner. Now, Lois, you've interviewed Ben and Lou before, haven't you?
Yep,
On Paranormal
I have.
Facts. So yous have
I
been
have
trained,
so had the pleasure.
and I've never really dived into demonology at all, ever. I didn't really know what it meant, to be honest. So for anybody that's watching, hopefully they'll get a better understanding of what demonology is all about. So Ben, I might as well come to you first of all. Hello, Marie, Dawn Marie, sorry.
Hi, Dawn.
Can you tell us a little bit about demonology? Just kind of a broad spectrum of what demonology is all about.
Well, demonology is obviously the study of, I hate the word demons, so you'll get used to me air quoting demons. It's the study of obviously demons and involving demonology and the study of their behaviours, manifestations and abilities. However, I also study cultology as well, which is the other side that everyone tends to ignore of demonology, which is with the cultology side, you study the old religions that these demons were part of.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, to sort of align it better with what we actually do.
So Ben, on you go, Mrs.
No, I was just going to say, because there's it's like you've got the demons, as they say. I know you're not a fan of that kind of term, but then you've got your arch demons, and then you've got like all the different backgrounds, because I know they come from like this stems not just for like, it stems for like places like Egypt and all different areas way back centuries ago.
Yeah, you've got your demonics, your hierarchy, then you've got your apocalyptics, your eternals, your epionics, then you've got fallen. That's just within the basis of demonology. Then, like you say, you go onto the Egyptian side and you've got the Harashnas, which are the sand demonics. You've got the jinn, the djinn, the category known as ghouls. You've got Middle Eastern spirits that are vampiric, not vampires as we know them in the Eastern Europe, but more what known as vampiric. They are said to suck the energy out of you. Then you go back as far as Sumeria, which you're looking 8,000-9,000 years back. It extends beyond more than people realise. Like Christianity probably touches about 1% of demonology.
Yep. So Irene, we're getting questions. Thanks very much, everyone. We've got questions coming in already, or comments. I believe that dark spirits are not demons, because I've seen a dark spirit before.
Yeah, the likelihood of you ever coming across a demonic, an actual demon, is very, very slim. I'm up to 200. What are we on case now? 248. 248 cases, and 6 of them have been demons. The rest have all been like negative spirits, or what we call ferals, which are like a lesser tier of demonics. If that kind of explains it a bit better.
Yep. Lois, did you say you've got a question there?
Aye. So, say you had to go back, Ben, right, and write the whole meaning of demonology. What would you put it? What would you sum it up in Ben's words?
What about you? I would sum it up more as, it's more like wildlife in a sense. Put it this way, if I was to sum up demonology nowadays, it would be more like having David Attenborough like narrating anything on demonology, because a lot of it is more creature based than people
Mhm.
realise. Like what you class as what you get from like these little demonic attacks that people claim they've been attacked by a demon, got a few scratches now. They're actually of a breed what's known as what are called ferals,
Mhm.
which are about 4 foot high demons. They're not, again, using that word demon, I don't really like using it because they're more creature orientated than actual
Yep.
what we
Yep.
portray as a demon. If that
So what
kind of
word?
makes a bit more sense.
So what word, Ben, do you feel more comfortable with than demons? What what's more easy, if you know what I mean, instead of using demon? I know you don't like using demon, but have you got a special term like that you use instead of saying demon?
I usually use, well, we usually use feral or
Feral.
elementals or anything
Yeah.
anything other than the word demon, because
Demon.
it's just you say demon, you instantly think of a bad thing. When you actually look at demonology in a whole,
Yeah.
all demons are listed with the ability to teach things, so they're actually teachers. It's only
Ah,
Christianity where you look that they have them all as these bad entities and that. But if you actually look towards Christianity styles, it's more the angelics that are more evil towards humanity than demons.
well, do you know, funny enough, Ben, that's actually quite a good way to look at it. If you do look at it realistically, it's mere humans that cause problems than demons.
Yeah.
I've always said I'd rather stand in a room full of high-ranking demonics than I would standing in a room full of people.
You're a bit
Feel
like
like
me,
that with
Ben.
just general spirits, aren't we?
Yeah.
Aye. You know,
Um,
my great saying in life is, I fear the living more than I fear the dead.
My grandma
how-
was always famous for that saying of, it's not the dead that hurt you, it's the living.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And how long have you been researching the demonology?
I've been doing it since I was 14.
14?
I'm 31 now. My first teacher was he's an archbishop of the Russian Orthodox Church.
Yep.
So he started off that path with me on that, teaching me from the beginning. Where are you? I started learning off him, but where you get a lot of demonologists nowadays, they usually come from one or two categories. You either get them from the church,
Yep.
which will only be able to deal with Christianity demons, and that's about it. Or you get them that have done these online courses that take 4 hours that cost about 30 quid. And then in the midst of there, you get the people like me that are bankrupt after spending 30,000, 40,000 pounds and travelling all over the world to learn.
To learn all the different bits.
Yeah.
I can
Where was
totally
your
understand.
favourite place to go, Ben?
Say again, Loz.
Where was your favourite place to go to study or to learn about demonology?
You see, it's hard because I've got kind of three. One of them's being Egypt, one of them is Rome, and one of them is Romania.
Wow.
Sort of like the best places we got information from.
I can't begin to imagine the amount of information. You know, listen to you on Paranormal Pass, and I was actually astonished how much information there is relating to this subject. And I don't know, if I was going to study demonology, where would be the first place that I was going to start, where I should start looking to that actually then study it?
The first place I always say is there's a book called the Encyclopedia of Demonology. What's the name? I can't remember her name because I'm terrible. Lou is, just for everyone, Lou is like my partner. She is also my student and my brains.
And Human Diary.
Yeah, Human Diary as well. She's also a medium as well. Well, not medium. She's what's known in demonology, in like the cultology demonology world, more as trying to remember the terminology now about it being in Latin. She's what's known as a high sensitive, which means she can see. When you get mediums, obviously they see the spirit as the spirit's showing. High sensitive levels see straight through any disguise they're putting on. So if you've got, say for example, famous cases like demons acting like children.
Yeah.
A high sensitive will see straight through that. They won't see him. They won't see him disguised as a child. They'll see him as they are.
That was going to be one of my questions. Obviously, we use having this information at your fingertips, and when you go and do investigations, then how you would then distinguish between a normal negative entity to something that is more like an elemental or a creature, as you call it.
That's down to you, because you do the field work. Just right, just for the reminder of it hitting on my head, that's the best one to start with.
Do you know, funny enough, Ben, I was looking at that book, but I didn't know.
Lovely.
So definitely that'll be on my
list. It's quite an easy one to remember. Demons and Demonology. That's quite an easy book to remember when you want to study the subject.
I always say look at old cases. So even famous cases, if you look at them cases and study the old ones, you start to notice patterns, which then you can bring into your own research and start to do bits and more. Look to more towards like cultology stuff as well, and you start to notice more stuff.
Thank you.
But yeah, your question: how do you tell the difference between the negative and elemental when you're on a demon investigation?
Well, it's quite how they're acting, to be fair. Like, put me on the spot.
I'm putting her on the spot now.
You're totally fine.
Like, it's fine. We can run over. Let's say for the hour, we can run over, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's more about like how they're acting. Because obviously human spirits still come from humans, and if they're trying to pretend to be something evil and demonic, then they'll go for the cliches of like, oh, you're going to hell, you're going to die. You know, Satan's coming for you, and all that kind of stuff. That's how they're wanting to be, to try and trick you. But yeah, whereas the actual didn't really act like that, not unless you've got them in a tight corner, like trapped them, and that'll only really be the higher ones. Whereas the ferals and the lessers, they tend to be a lot smaller. They're usually around 4 foot, and they tend to be a little bit warmer. Like you see like spirits and you think, oh, there's a cold spot, and there's a spirit there. That's your human spirits, but these other ones, they tend to have a bit of a warm spot, and they look different.
So that's quite interesting, actually. And would that be kind of relevant to every case? Because you hear people saying, oh, it's quite warm here, I've got a heat spot here, but that isn't always necessarily going to be like as you said, it could that be a spirit even still? Or is that definitely always going to be?
You tend to get more cold spots when it's human spirits than anything else. It's to do with the electrical field, obviously when it transfers. Obviously, Loz, you'll know, and well, you'll both know if you've seen some of the shows that we do and stuff like that. I'm very scientifically driven when it comes to explaining stuff, which most of the paranormal world absolutely hate me for. The thing when it comes to the cold spots, difference between is when a human spirit gives a cold spot, it's due to the fact of the electrical impulse of the body. Your body produces anywhere between 300 and 400 watts of energy every couple of minutes. So when you convert that into obviously the electrical current, this is going to sound really silly, but when you get electrocuted, people say it feels cold. Electric never feels warm when you get electrocuted. It's a cold feeling. and that's how it portrays into the spiritual realm. They are free. They are made up of this electrical field. So the electrical field is cold to the touch.
Wow.
That's
I could
quite
sit and listen to
interesting.
you. I could sit and listen to
I
you
know.
all night, Ben.
All day.
So,
Yeah,
know.
I have
It's 'cause
got a
I
few
ramble.
comments and I'm just going to put up
What
so
about
I'm
why
quite a lot of them.
like lessons why they warm? It's like we've been on investigations before, and like we've had one stuck back camera, and like Ben and Jenny have been there, like, oh, it feels warm here, and that's because a little lesson. Or when like Jeanette says that she gets sometimes cold and warm,
Yeah.
or when Nurse walked into the room, she's got a sensation of warm. Why do they give off warm?
The reason proper demons, ferals, lessons that they give off warmth is because they're in essence a living creature. They're just outside of our range of view. And we know the human body, or we take any animal, for example, apart from obviously reptiles, they all produce heat. And that's why you can get warm spots when it comes more to the demonics and any spiritual entity beyond the human is going to be warm more to the touch because the body kicks out more heat.
That's quite interesting.
So that does make sense.
I'm just going to put some of these comments up. Sorry, but Ben and Lou, I'm so sorry if this comment covers your face. It's quite a big one.
No.
Sorry, just peek over. Yes, I when they were people in life and became a lost spirit in death, so they float around and sometimes become very belligerent to death. We are not a Christian country, but they do exist. This is Irene. She's got a few comments coming up. So, my old condo was the worst place to live, and it's a suicide condo. We lived there for 20 plus years, and it was hell on earth, and it still is. That does sound really bad.
Yeah. The thing with suicide is it's always it's badly looked on by Christianity.
Yep.
Yet 1,000 years ago, it wasn't a sin to commit suicide. It was only put in place due to the fact of an incident happening during history. Hey, Vonnie.
Here's a question for you, Ben. Right,
Yep.
and it's a case study that I'm interested with, and hopefully in time I would love to go and spend the night in the Cecil Hotel. What's your thoughts on the Cecil Hotel?
Cecil Hotel, which one? I know about 50 different hotels in America. Is that the one where the woman disappeared in the hotel?
In the water tank at the top.
Yeah.
Aye, but it's the hotel history in a whole. It's not just the Elisa Lam case. It's how all the cases have combined, because that seems to be a hotel where you go in, but you never check out.
Yeah. I'll give you a bit of information on that a lot of people don't know outside of cultology. That hotel sits on a way line. It sits on a cross. It sits on a cross of a negative way line.
Oh. I'm fascinated with ley lines, actually.
Do you think, and this is just a total stab in the dark, Ben, but do you think there's something demonic behind the Cecil Hotel, if that makes sense?
Due to, I wouldn't say demonic, I'd say more, now this is a word that gets used, it's got a really bad tag to it, which is more necromancy.
Right.
Which is like self-proclaimed, I hate using the word magic, but it's the best way of describing it.
I totally get where you're going, Ben.
Yeah. If you go for a prime example of a location like that, if you look at Auschwitz, where the amount of blood that was spilt, like innocent blood that was spilt, has basically made that place a complete and utter dead zone. No life exists there, anything like that. You can get these on negative way lines, which that hotel is one where it will just draw in more and more energy. The more blood that gets spilt, the more it builds up.
I mean, the Elisa Lam case really did fascinate me, Because it's when you watch the video, like when obviously she's in the lift and then she's kind of looking out and then she backs it back in. It's a kind of hard one to toss.
Yeah.
I don't
But
understand
it's
how
a
she
very
didn't
fascinating
scream.
case.
Why would you not scream? In my opinion, if you were getting run, why would you not shout help in a hotel that's full of people, full of rooms?
Exactly.
I don't understand that.
That's where you get, like I say, when you go to places like Auschwitz, it's dead silent. The noise just doesn't. Nothing makes noise there. There's no living birds. There's nothing. There's no sound. It's like it's frozen in an echo.
That would be another. I mean, that place would be wow. But she's the only paranormal group in Japan.
I'm just going to go through some of the comments. Yep.
You see, I have to say, Japan does interest me because they are massively atheist. However, they do stick to still like believing in curses and luck and stuff like that. So Japan does interest me. And my heart goes out to you being the only person in the paranormal field out in Japan.
Can you imagine being the only paranormal investigation here? Investigation here.
I know that.
Ron, I don't know if you've got a comment, but I can't see a question if you're looking to ask one, my honey.
Yeah, go on, Vonnie. You don't need to ask me a question. You should know that by now.
But it's like the culture-wise, like Chinese and Japanese cultures always fascinate me, and it's like some of like their traditions and what they believe in and things that fascinate me.
Some of Chinese, what we class as, see, the word demonic only exists in Europe. To there is negative energy, it's natural creatures, all that sort of stuff. Some of their spiritual entities are on the tier of like really, really bad.
Can imagine.
Yeah.
I actually can imagine. Irene's got another comment up. I'll just.
Yeah, she's on about the suicide forest at the mount. It's at the base of Mount Fuji. It is a massive dead spot, same as it is in Auschwitz. There's a place called the Black Forest in Germany as well. That's the same place. These are just negative ley line. It's where two ley lines that are negative charge pass over each other, and they usually create this massive amount of death.
So sorry, I'm so sorry.
I was reading about the.
Can you see that? I do apologise. Dimensions of realms. I thought dimensions were referred to with numbers. Can you see that, okay, guys? And I can read it for you.
Yeah, you've got the low, mid, and highers. Obviously, these exist beyond human capabilities. They are to do with they usually are listed as different frequencies. So obviously, certain decibels we can't hear, certain light waves we can't see. So outside of these, you can have your different planes. Most people refer to them as like the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the seventh dimension, and vice versa downwards and all that. It's literally to do with human concepts of our ability to see and what we class as being real in this realm.
Yeah.
If that kind of answers your question a bit, Bonnie.
And I'll just go through a couple more.
I was wrong.
Right, well, since Lou's feeling a wee bit left out,
no, fine.
Tell me what got you into the paranormal, Lou.
Don't say supernatural.
It wasn't supernatural. I did enjoy watching it. Yeah, it started when I was young. and just moved up to York. I had a few experiences up in the house there, and then because I was growing up in York, and it is a very haunted place wherever you like live and work and just go in general. Tends to be filled with ghost stories and everything, and then you got all the ghost walks, and I just thought it was like normal life, like, you know, oh yeah, that's haunted, carry on, it's normal. Oh, there's something banging there. Oh, there's someone running up behind me. Just like carry on, it's normal then. Yeah, I didn't realise there was actual kind of paranormal teams that went out, did like the proper investigations and everything else. I just thought there was the ghost walks and that was for the tourists. But then when I moved, and then a few years later met Ben, and he introduced me like more in depth to it all. So obviously, like I say, I had experiences up in York, so I wasn't like completely new to it.
Don't blame me.
I'm not blaming you. You just dragged me along further.
Good.
Yeah.
How long he's been together?
I don't know. I've got 3 years, but that's...
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
sleeping on the couch tonight.
Well,
Yeah, we'll go 3 years.
yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you're getting married, is it next year?
Hopefully.
Oh,
oh.
brilliant. Lovely. Oh, well.
What demon's your best friend? Your best man, Ben?
If I had to have one, it'd probably either be Asmon or Ball. 2 of the oldest demonics going in history.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Yes, it does. That's what I thought. It just seemed to throw a spanner on the works. Thanks. And on Black Eye tomorrow, Ben. They might not wait
more than
tomorrow.
likely. More than likely.
Oh.
Oh God, here you're cut up again. Irene, everything that we do is surrounded by death, folklore and spirits, yet paranormal is not accepting anymore, so I can't talk about what I do. My kids are all empaths, and my mum was before she passed away.
Yeah, it's not very accepted in Japan, but like everywhere else in the world, it's the increase of paranormal is starting to rise up again. More people are interested in it. I've come back to doing lectures next year. I've got a few places going down to go and do talks on it.
Oh wow!
So it's getting. I think people are coming back to it.
There are a lot of folk are wakening up to the paranormal, the spiritual side, regardless what area it is. They'll be definitely wakening up, and I think more men. Me and Sharon on the team talk about this. More men are wakening up to it as well. You know, before kind of be women watching what was on the TV or whatever. But I think a lot of men are so interested in this subject, or all these different subjects of the paranormal, and it's really good to see that there's a kind of widespread in that.
Yeah, I think every other week I get someone asking to be a student of mine, and it's a bit like I give everyone the first test, and whether they come back to me or not is dependent on them. If they do come back to me after doing what I've said them to do, then I'll start teaching them. But as of yet, most people drop off once you do the first bit.
Really?
I dread asking
genuinely
what the
think their
test
brains are
is, Ben.
It's so much information to take in. People just must think, no, I don't think my brain could hold that much info in there.
See, the first thing I do is like the first lesson I teach people is if you get that book, which I don't make any money out of this whatsoever. Everyone thinks that I have like a sponsorship by that book, but I generally don't. I refuse to accept money as well for teaching. What people don't realize, I'll say, right, go and study old cases and then come back to me.
Yeah.
And I know when you've done it because you'll come back to me and go, right, here's a certain pattern of things that happen.
So I think that's what you look for, Ben. You look for them coming back and saying to you, well, you know what, this is what the pattern is in this, and starting to rhyme off about demons and that. And
That's
do you
right.
know what, Ben? there should be more teaching, and I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think there should be more teaching about demonology, the mythology, you know, all the other ones as well, including when obviously, like, there should be that about witchcraft as well, you know, that teaching that that's your path and that's what you want to do, then that's absolutely fine.
A lot of the problem now with the teaching of demonology, it's like I said earlier, you can do a diploma in it and it takes 4 hours, and then people are instantly saying, right, I'm an expert in demonology. You're never an expert in any way, shape, or form. And 4 hours. Lou has the diploma for demonology that you can get for 30 quid. We finished it together in 15 minutes.
Wow.
How long? 15 minutes?
Oh,
Yeah, we finished it in 15 minutes. I then spent the next, 3 days ripping it apart bit by bit and going, this is wrong. And you ended up emailing the bloke, didn't you?
well, at the end of the course, you get to give feedback.
Yeah.
So I gave feedback.
Oh, I can imagine what was written.
He got in contact with me and asked me to rewrite for him, and he would give me a cut of the money that he was making. And in polite terms, I told him where to shove it, because he was teaching people. The lessons he was teaching was putting people in dangerous situations.
Oh dear. And that's
a more funny / dangerous situation was, if you want to find out if someone is possessed by a demon, is go up behind them and throw holy water on them.
What is your opinion about holy water, Ben?
I don't want to say live because I'll get banned again.
Say it.
But,
this is a free for all. You don't.
Wait till we're almost finished. Actually,
no disrespect to Hindus, which I have a few friends that are Hindus, but holy water in Eastern Europe, like that Christianity use, I'd probably use the cow piss that Hindus use as holy water, would be more effective.
Cow piss.
I've kind of worked. I had to kind of spin around that so we don't all get barred and banned for that comment. But
no, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Holy
water is basically snake oil in my eyes.
So that leads me on to the next question. This might be, sorry, Lois, if you get another question to ask.
No, you go, honey. No. It was just a comment.
This leads me on to the whole subject. Now, we had the Reverend on last week, and we were talking about exorcisms and obviously all this kind of stuff. What's your views on exorcisms then, if you don't believe in that they're actually demons?
I'm actually recognised by the Vatican City Order of Exorcists.
Really? So you perform?
That's the irony of it all. When I've done a few exorcisms, I won't speak about them because the practices are kept quiet when it comes to cultology. But I'm going to say this now: we don't use prayers. We don't use anything like that, because when you use prayers, it is religious provocation. No matter what anyone says, no disrespect to the gentleman that was on last week, when he says, I don't use religious provocation, you are doing the instant you start saying a prayer. It is religious provocation. As soon as you bring in anything of a religious base, it is religious provocation. Yeah. Even if it's a cross, it's religious provocation. The exorcisms that, even the term exorcism is a Christianity, Judaism and Islam term for ridding of evil spirits.
Yeah.
The Native Americans use, it's probably the closest to how we do exorcism, shall we say. the ancient world never uses prayers or anything like that. They use different herbs, different remedies, different like frankincense, for example, is a main thing that we use. It's been used for thousands of years.
Not the big bad word.
Not the S word. No.
No sage. I am on a proper hashtag sage rage rampage.
This is leading on to another comment. After watching Paranormal Path, right? This got me. This comment, and we all know. Can you please ask Ben about his box? He will never forgive me if you don't.
Paul, you wait till tomorrow. Right. The thing is, with the box, and anyone that's ever listened to any of our shows or any of Mystics or anything like that, there's an obsession that the paranormal world has with people I work with about this small yellow duct tape box that I have in my possession. Now, it's what's known as a devil's toy box, which has mirrors all inside. Now, the entity inside this box is a very aggressive demonic from a case that was down in Wales that did. Now, everyone is obsessed with this box for some reason, because if you get what are they called? The devices with the lights on.
The EMF, the K2 meters, yeah.
Yeah.
EMF.
If you take one of these devices, and I've said to people, you can shake the box. There's nothing in it. It's literally just these mirrors. If you take that REM pod or EMF detector and put it next to the box, it goes off the scale.
Do you think by creating mirrors inside that you can create a kind of portal? I don't know.
You basically, with a devil's toy box, you create what's known as a singularity point inside the box. If you've ever stood in between two mirrors, you'll notice that they just keep going on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Now, an entity can pass through mirrors. We know this. There's thousands and thousands of documented cases of evidence of spirits using mirrors to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you put more mirrors around that, the entity that comes through the mirror is not going to know which way is up, down, left, or right.
So it's confusion and frustration.
So it becomes this point what we know as a singularity. So it will hover in that little ball forever until you break the container. And this is what this yellow box is. Yep. But the reason everyone's obsessed with it is because I've got this high rank. I've got the photos from the case. Bless her, the young lady. She's in the 60s. Bless her. She was highly attacked, like bruises. It basically looked like she'd been in a bar fight. But this entity currently sits in this box at the bottom of our garden under a plant pot in a Tesco bag, just sat there.
For God's sake.
of all the bags we've got at Tesco's.
I know. Every little helps though.
Every little does help. There is one question, Ben, that is on my mind, and it's how to word it, because it's a very delicate one. But sometimes in this life you've got to ask the delicate ones, right? Do you think there should be an age? And it only comes into my mind because I'm not going to name names or anything like that, right? But a lot of people were kicking up a fuss about something that was done, an exorcism on a child.
Yeah.
You know what case I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
do you think there should be an age limit? Like, do you believe that it's a delicate one? But do you
believe, and I've always believed this, and always do this through exorcisms that I've ever had to perform, is first medical assistance. You've got to go to the medics first. You've got to go to the doctors. Get examined for everything and anything first. Everything, you have to remember, thousands of years ago, all demon cases and all this lot, and even now, people forget you have medical conditions. So I would always say, go to the doctors. If it is a child, I will not do anything under the age of 16, 17, 18 at a push, depending on how bad the case is. However, I will still get parents' commission. I will always still get doctors. I think anything less than that sort of age, I'd say anything less than 18, no. You shouldn't be performing anything like that on anyone under 18, because it can be traumatic.
Of course,
No, I
There are
totally
there are
agree.
other ways of doing stuff first. And I'll say this to everyone. It's something that I mention all the time on the Other Dimension, stuff like that. If you believe you've got an attachment, eat an orange. As stupid as it sounds. An orange fruit. They've been used for thousands of years for cleansing people. You haven't got to go for an exorcism or anything like that. Just eat an orange and you'll suddenly find that you'll calm down, you'll relax and everything like that.
Wow,
Right.
Ben and orange.
That's
I
actually
actually never knew
fantastic.
that. Seriously, straight up.
Orange juice has been used for thousands of years. The Egyptians used to use it for everything. Pretty much anyone and everyone used it in the ancient world for cleansing bodies.
Oh my god.
But
Well,
I would always
and
say,
actually, what you're saying, because like lemons, people use lemons to kind of detox their body, don't they?
Yep.
So it is a sensible.
you have to
You can
remember,
relate with the lemon, the citrus.
during the Spanish Inquisition, during the main dark ages where the demons were running rampant kind of thing, if you had an epileptic fit, you were taken and you were killed because the demons were in your body. We're living in what, the 22nd, 21st century now?
Yeah.
Medicine has come a hell of a long way. 95% of like any cases I do where people go on, like, I need an exorcism. You don't. Just go to the doctors. They will find out what's wrong with you.
And of course,
I wouldn't, like, if I'm dealing with a case like that, I won't stop and go, right, once you go to the doctors, that's it. If they go to the doctors, they do everything, the doctor prescribes something, they come back and still go, look, I'm still feeling a bit, then I'll go, right, we'll sit down, we'll talk a few things through, and this is how we'll progress. Don't throw an exorcism in straight away.
no. There's other ways of dealing with the situation other than just going straight down that route.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm going to go through some more of these comments. There's quite a few, actually. If you don't mind. I've done 4 diplomas from online. They are not worth the paper they are written on.
Yeah, Vonnie, you know, you want to learn, you come to me.
And Irene, I had this dark entity that followed me to my new house, and I told it like heck was I wrong to say that, and it left my side. Excuse me. What else? It had no face, all black and just empty and cold. It's so nasty. And then, I really want to show this one. Sorry to that.
A bit of orange like juice, and a bit of lotus oil, just in front of your doorstep will stop that straight away. If that helps you.
Hopefully that helps you, Irene.
Vonnie, you're trying to target my sage rage here.
I know. They just like the reaction, don't
they? They want to hear you rant about the old sage. That's what
Vonnie,
it is.
you should know better about my sage rage.
So, and as far as like when you're talking about seek medical, professional medical help, you know, obviously that's the first thing you're going to do, and that's kind of partly why witchcraft. Obviously, the laws came in, and witchcraft wasn't illegal, and also like it was illegal to torture people, but people were less likely to blame somebody for witchcraft because of the fact that the medical science were finding explanations for the way people were behaving the way they were. They were finding reasons through their illnesses that weren't obviously explained by they had been in contact with the devil or whatever. They'd been practicing the dark arts and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, you look at the history of witches. They were herbalists.
Yeah.
It's a big
right.
misconception. They were village herbalists. It was just the fact that most of them were women. And the church at the time hated it.
Yeah. Medicine women, midwives, just.
I'm going to fire a question at Lou, right? Because poor Lou's been sitting there and she's very quiet.
I'm all right. I won't do talking. It's fine.
I don't want you feeling left out. I really don't.
Oh, it's fine. I'll just sit here and listen to him. It's all good.
Lou, what path do you follow? Do you have a path that you follow?
Oh. I don't know. So, I don't know, because I like different things, really. I don't want to like tell myself as being this, that, or the other. I just go where my interest takes me. To be fair,
I'm the exact same.
go on.
You've got your own paranormal thing as well.
I'm like go that way. I go like. Don't get me wrong, I've got an interest, as I said to you the last time, in occult and Satanism. I have got an interest in it. It is actually an interesting subject, and I suppose the thing that jumps out to me is that what it promotes is just being yourself, follow your own path.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I took away from it. What about yourself, Sam? Do you like... Sam, sorry. Because Sam's in the comments. I do apologise, Lou. Please forgive me, and I should remember your name because we both share the exact same name. Do you go towards like the dark arts?
That's a question, boy.
The dark
arts.
To be fair, I kind of you don't want to be classed as dark, but I don't call them dark.
You know what I mean, though.
That's just demonic racism there.
Yeah, people class you a lot as being dark and evil and nasty, but I've got, my bodyguard, he's a lesser. He's classed as a demonic, and he comes along with me, keeps me safe and protected. But I've also got a little sprite that comes along with me, and so I go along quite a lot of because he's a little elemental, and I do quite like my plants, and I've got my garden, and I tend to rescue plants from little Vanda. When you go into sort of like B&Q or something, and they've got like the sale, and you got some poor little plant that's half dead, and so I just kind of like bring them home with me. And
she's got a green thumb. She brings anything.
Me and the sprite kind of bring things back to life that way.
I can kill a plant just by looking at it.
Me too.
She can bring it back to life by walking past it.
Can I just point out, because there's somebody that's caught my eye in the comments, and that's why I keep my eye keeps going down the way. Right?
Yep, that's one.
I'm not insinuating there's a devil in the craft. If you've ever watched me, I am all for occult and Satanism.
Yep.
No, anyway.
I think, Lois, I actually think she's relating to what I said about the devil, but 100% we know in witchcraft there's no such thing as obviously the devil. It was the people that were accusing them and all these different manipulators and things. It was them that were saying all this. No, that's something that we believe.
Yeah, Christianity was terrible for aligning witches with the devil at the time.
Oh God, aye.
That's how it was seen. Yeah, witches were seen as the devil's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It really is.
Yeah. I'm going to put it bluntly. They were seen as the devil's bitch. not to offend anyone, but that's how
Oh, Ben, that's why I love you. I love having these conversations with you because there's just no hold bar.
Yeah, but it's like, to level it up as well. When it comes to the nuns, if you look at the nuns, they're basically like God's bitches. Pretty much how you would. As bad as it sounds,
And
that's
you
how.
were about calling holy water cowboys.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ben,
well,
this is why I absolutely, well,
Irene, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong or not. Irene, not lily oil, lotus oil. If that makes it a bit better.
Am I missing comments here? Sorry, guys.
no.
It's all right. Back to how she said she was getting a figure following her into a house, and I just said,
Oh, it was Irene. Vaughn asked, how did you find out who your guardian demon is? And also Millie thinks, obviously, it was she's fed up with the fact that people just misunderstand witches and stuff like that. And 100% we get you. So don't think that you're on your own there. But how did you find out who your guardian demon is, Lou?
my guardian demon. Jesus, she has been listening to me properly.
Well, because I just said about that.
Well, my case, I got attacked when I was 3 by a demonic. So, ironically, one bigger one came in to save me from the lower one attacking me. So that kind of makes sense. And then that one's been around me since I was the age of 3.
And then mine, a higher one, put this lesser with me to kind of follow me and just protect me and go unseen. But then I kind of named him, and that helps them kind of like develop their own personalities, because then they change, then they become more into more of a being.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit odd. And so he's my bodyguard now.
Can I just ask, is it plausible for a cat to be classed as an elemental? Because this cat is mad, jumping up, back flipping over. I'm trying to concentrate.
Cats are pure, utter demons. They are the embodiment of demons. But yeah, cats are actually considered halfway in between.
You know, my cat's called Salem. That's a shame.
Cats can actually be used to scare away demons, ironically. Demonics, be it the named and the higher ups, don't actually like cats.
But
right.
Do you know, actually, that explains a lot about Ikora.
Yeah.
Because she is just...
Ironically, that's why witches had cats back in the day. 1, to keep away mice and stuff, and 2, they were all also considered to be the guardian against evil spirits.
Fantastic. I think my cat would be a
Prime example, look at Egypt.
Hey,
But
Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Irene's asking where can she get lotus oil?
You should be able to get it off, like, even Amazon. I don't know if you can get Amazon out in Japan and that lot. I'm not too sure. But you can order it offline. That easy. It's usually quite cheap.
And well, I think we've caught up with the comments.
Yep.
So we went through all the different subjects. What about Ed and Lorraine Warren? I just thought I would just pipe this one up. What did you think about them back in the day?
When it comes to them, I have to refrain to a pre-scripted comment of I can neither confirm or deny my eligible standing on their cases due to the fact of prior involvement with said organisation dealing with the organisation that I work for.
Right. So what I'll do now then is go back to the comments.
is that just kind of what's the line out?
Right. Vaughn, I believe cats are from above the fifth dimensions. No shortcuts. It's a look in their eyes. They read your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, they are solidly crafty little bugs. Like ours is currently sat by the door.
Oh, sneaks.
I've got a question from Millie. Are you a Christian? No, I don't think I am. I think I'm more a spiritualist. I think just spiritual. I mean, I don't go with anything, if that makes sense. You know,
Religion
I love
isn't.
all these different kind of subjects. So
Yeah.
I kind of
Religion is organised business. Anyone that is outside of that organised business exists to their own ability.
I quite like to just follow my own route, and I mean, just now I'm actually learning about past life regressions. So when you're talking about demonology, it's more the history of the demonology that fascinates me. You know, getting to the roots of it.
Yeah, there is actually a scientific base behind that as well.
And what's your scientific? I really want to hear, Ben, the scientific behind it.
Behind your past life regressions to do with basically your DNA.
Oh.
And obviously DNA is passed down through family members. Obviously your father and your mother have DNA.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously not going into a sex educational one here, but obviously we know bing bang boom, you're born.
Bing bang boom.
The Big Bang Theory.
But obviously from that point you've got the DNA of your father and the DNA of your mother. Now you then can use obviously DNA tracks back up your family tree.
Yep.
So obviously the further up you go, the more it branches out. So your past life regression can actually match against people that aren't even in your even family members anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how you can progress through. You're basically diving into your own DNA database when you get put into that deep state of meditation.
Yeah. I'm kind of reading this book just now. This is the book I started reading just now, and it really is fascinating. It's from Denise Lynn. So just hearing about the stories which she says, like people in Africa could have the same story of a past life as somebody maybe in Europe, because and that's what fascinates me when you were talking about demonology and paranormal path, how the history of it all, how far it goes back.
Yeah,
that just interests me a lot.
People don't realize how far it actually goes back. You're looking into thousands upon thousands of years. I won't mention the name because with the organisation I'm with, we're sworn to never mention certain names on certain things. But there is, I say a demon very loosely that goes right back to Africa. You can track him through Africa over to America when obviously slavery started. You can track him all over to he scatters basically everywhere.
I'm sorry about the noise. My cat is literally skating everything about the floor just now. He's going mad. Just let me know, will you?
Irene, to your question, to your comment, I would say that you're more of a Catholic than most people out there nowadays. Believing in it and practicing it are two different things. If you believe in it, it makes you a more better person. Practicing, everyone's entitled to practice their own religion. However, if you believe it in your heart, then you're more dedicated to it. And that's coming from a lot, because I do have a bad tendency of slagging Christianity off really badly. So I mean, no disrespect.
That should be making it up then, isn't okay.
No, I am very anti-church, but I'm not anti-Christian or Catholic, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get what you mean. Get.
I'm massively against the church, but that's about it. Which is ironic when you consider that I'm actually an honorary member of the Order of the Exorcist.
But no, I haven't had a past life regression, but it's something I'm working on. In fact, I'm actually wanting to learn how to perform a past life regression. That's how I want to actually develop and do that myself.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I just think the whole thing's fascinating. Demonology, past life, things like that. That it is all fascinating, and it is to think that you have like so many lives before and what you are.
Yeah.
As I said, I've discovered when I had a past life reading that I was a child witch that was tortured. I came back as a witch and put a curse on, and that kind of that gave me the understanding why I'm into what I'm into.
It's
Yeah.
a very dark. People always put it as a very dark subject, but they don't understand. Like, ironically, for taking on Christianity at the minute, in their early days, they believed in reincarnation.
Yeah.
It was only after the Council of Nicaea that they decided that we're not going to believe in the reincarnation anymore. Everyone's going to heaven. But before that, they all believed in reincarnation.
If you don't pay your taxes, you're going to hell.
Yeah, which is ironic. That was actually in the Bible during the Roman era, that if you didn't pay your taxes, you were going to hell.
Do you know, I'm trying not to laugh, and it's not that because Jimmy Carr came into my head there about not paying taxes. I love Jimmy Carr, and it's just like trying not to laugh.
It's so weird because people called me a witch.
It's just, I think witch is used as a brush to just tar everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and I
always
think as well, I think you're right there, and I think as well, like back in the 1600s, Mayor, if you were a Catholic, then they were going to try you for a witch either way because they were trying to stamp out Catholicism, if that's how you say it. The church.
A friend of mine always said, never trust a man with a book to sell. And you've always got Christianity, Judaism, Islam, or any of the major religions always trying to sell your book.
Aye.
Oh, Ben, you're some man. It's been a pleasure having you in Lou.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't mince my words. I say it as it is. If I offend people, I apologise to them, but I'm not offending them. I'm offending the religious concept of what a lot of people believe in.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you're staying true to yourself.
Yeah.
So
it confuses a hell of a lot of people. But when like in our line of work, when you're talking about demonology, you start talking about the scientific side, people get confused because you're not allowed to talk about science when it comes to the paranormal.
No.
The paranormal world wouldn't exist if it weren't for science.
That's right. And vice versa.
Hi, Mark.
So I'll just go through the last comments and then we'll kind of wrap it up there, guys. But
yeah, of course.
Honestly, thank you very much. I don't follow any religion. Believe if I was to follow one, it would be Nordic or Buddhism.
Yeah.
The
you've
Bible,
got two old religions there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a book of words. And where am I?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Bible. It's always been twisted.
You're conditioned into believing one certain thing, when really it's we live in a universe, and it's universal. The universe spans into planets, into history, it's trying to condition yourself into one thing, one book.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like I said at the beginning, when it comes to the demonology that we do, the reason I wind up a lot of demonologists out there is because I cover every major religion going.
Yep.
And people say, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that." Well, a true person would cover every religion. You take bits. When people start religion, they take bits they want out.
Somebody said to me today, just actually, there's truth in every religion.
Yeah.
And he said that to me, and I says, well, that's true, because everybody believes in their own religion. They've got their own belief system, and from that, we can take a bit from each other's religion. We don't necessarily need to believe that religion, but we can take parts of it, what you want. You know,
Yeah,
there
well-
is a bit of truth in every religion, I believe.
The best example of showing that at the minute is obviously take witches for example, because it's there we're talking about it. You look at the ancient herbalists, so you've got what he classes like the ancient witches and stuff like that. You bring that forward to like modern days. Then you have a gentleman called Aleister Crowley and another gentleman called, I can't remember Gardner's first name.
Is
Gerald
it
Gardner.
Anton? All right,
These,
Gerald.
these two people created the Wiccan belief
Hmm.
by taking bits of the old religion and then putting a new spin on it to make it their own. They've created this modernization of witches, which is the Wiccan belief. If that kind of shows how progression happens. Sometimes it's for good, sometimes it's for bad.
That's right. Well, guys,
in my cases, I take terrible fire shots at Wiccans, but that's because I know how that religion started.
It's all right.
Nudist.
Yeah, by a nudist and a madman.
well, listen, guys, thank you very much. We'll get these comments.
It's
The comments that keep
been
coming
an
in.
absolute pleasure. And thank
Yeah.
you, everybody in the comments.
100%. Thank
I
you very much. Totally agree, Shelley. We should be free-spirited, choose our own path.
I just want to say one thing, just because of like seeing comments, I don't take threats lightly. So if anyone tells me to say watch it, it's really not a good idea. Because if you've been rude to people in the chats, in the comments, like I've been seeing, I am a very bad dickhead when it comes to dealing with people that think they can gob off and not see consequences.
Right.
Especially when these lovely ladies have taken their time out to put a nice show on.
I do apologise. I think
it goes on. It goes with a lot of things.
100%.
People take their time out to do these shows for people that are watching. I will not sit idly by and watch people comment bad comments against them.
Yeah.
I hate to end it on a bad note, but I just have to say that out loud.
No, you're right. Try to do everybody's comments, but when I understand.
I just want to say though, guys, that any subjects that we touch on a Friday night, some people are really interested in, and it's not to offend and it's not to upset anyone. We're basically like we're having a discussion, and anything that obviously we speak about, you know, there is going to be subjects that are going to touch some people in the wrong ways, but the way to look at it is it's no about criticising, it's not about bringing anyone down, it's just the simple fact of we're having a pure discussion. That's all it is.
Well said, Lois. Well said.
I can't pronounce the word. Healthy debating is what is missed in the world. For example, in this chat, for example, we've had Irene Besser over in Tokyo. She's a Catholic. You yourselves are on your own different path. If every single people of different religions sat around and had a nice general conversation, I'll tell you one thing, the world would be a hell of a lot better place.
Yeah. Oh, she did apologise. I don't think she was trying to get that kind of, I don't think that it was meant in that kind of way, but she has apologised.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll leave it at that anyway. And
we'll definitely get you on that note. Anytime you want us back on, by all means, you know where to find me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, guys.
And can I just say, but I might as well tell you about your groups. I mean, you're on Goes the Other Dimension. They can watch you on that.
Oh, yes. I forget to plug Mary.
Oh, Christ.
But also,
Ben.
And yourself as well, Lou.
Yeah, Mystic Paranormal UK. We are doing live tomorrow night from one of the people who's actually watching, Jeanette. We're going to her house tomorrow because she's having some activity in her house and in her garden. And she's taking some good photos to show what we believe are spirits. So that'll be a good one.
And then my show is on Sunday on the Other Dimension page. Talking a bit more about scientific field when it comes to the electrical field that we all use for paranormals. And I also have a special guest that's coming on to talk about the future of obviously the Other Dimension podcast and the radio show. So
I'll need to. What I'll need to do, Ben, is I'll need to send people over.
Yeah,
Check you out.
Yeah,
we'll get you guys on the show as well at some point. It'd be nice to have
That
you on
would
and
be
talk
awesome.
about what you guys
That
do.
would be brilliant. Thank you very
Excellent.
much, guys.
well, thank you to the both of you, and thanks to
Thank you.
everybody that came and joined in the chat tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic and really, really interesting. So until the next time, take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.